He's got a pub, with like his Lego because he loves Lego.
He's got a pub at the house.
He's got a pub at the house. And he's got his Lego hanging from the ceiling, and like.
Hell. Last time we saw you, you kindly graced us with your present.
Brace for it.
Was March 2020.
Yeah.
Just before COVID.
Oh yeah, I remember him.
And you invited us down to your show, the UEA show, which was a load of fun.
Well, you can come to all my shows. That video you put up on Twitter has had 300,000 views. That's mental.
It's mad.
Of me fist bumping you side of the stage. Mate, you can come to every show.
It's a cool video, though. All my mates were like, he's so lovely, so lovely.
I am lovely in real life.
You are lovely.
In real life?
I don't know.
But this was a surreal...
Go on.
This was a surreal moment for me because you obviously invited us down, and then on the day when we was going to come and watch you, I got a voice note from your phone, but it was from Mr. Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, because he was like, oh yeah, I like that guy. I'm a fan of his.
So
I went to Suffolk to Ed's house because I haven't seen his house, and I wanted to see because he's got a pub, with like his Lego because he loves Lego.
He's got a pub at the house.
He's got a pub at the house. And he's got his Lego hanging from the ceiling, and like he's got like 20 Sons of Anarchy jackets that he got from. The Sons of Anarchy writer, director. So everyone puts on like a clubhouse jacket before you go in the pub.
Oh
cool.
my God.
Yeah, it's a pretty exceptional house. And he's got like a big pond, which is like a swim and like a natural water hole pond, but it's got like a diving board into it and stairs. So it's like a natural swimming pool. Does that make sense?
Sounds quite good.
And he tried to make me go in it, and I was like, mate, I'm probably going to get like hypothermia or something.
I would have gone in it. I'd have gone in it. Ed Sheeran, if you're listening, I'll go in your little pond thing.
If he invites you over, you should definitely go in his pond.
I'll do anything he tells me to. I'll kiss him on the forehead.
Yeah, so I went and had dinner with him at his local pub, his local pub he's been going to since he was a kid. It was really cute. And then
what did he order?
I don't know. Why does it matter?
Because food.
Why don't you get him on the show and ask him a stupid meal deals question? Oh yeah, Ed, you get 9.6.
Do you know what the awkward thing is about that is I emailed him. You gave me his email, and then I titled it "Let's Talk About Sandwiches."
Yeah, because that's clickbait for him. No, the truth is he's one of my best pals, and even though I only see him now once a year, we might chat on email like all the time, like maybe every day for a week, and then might not chat for 6 months. But it's one of those good friendships where even if you don't chat for ages, you're still tight. But yeah, he's a lovely fellow. Like the fact that he still wants to come to my gig, it just goes to show you how grounded and humble he is. I'm not saying that he wouldn't want to watch my gig, but it's a bit of a hassle. It can be a hassle if you're Ed Sheeran just going anywhere.
Yeah.
Let alone to a gig and then wanting to watch it an hour and 20 minutes side of stage.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just goes to show what a lovely fella he is.
Is it weird because you both sort of came up together, didn't you?
Well, it's funny because 10 years ago this week, I was number one in the charts for Stay Awake, which was my second number one.
Right.
So Change the Way You Kiss Me was number one in June 2011. And then Stay Awake was number one, I think, first week of September 2011. And I beat Moves Like Jagger that week. So by like 69 individual downloads.
Ooh.
It was the closest ever number one, number two chart battle for 25 years.
That's a hell of a stat, that.
So I claimed my second one, number one, by the skin of my teeth. And then the funny thing was, Moves Like Jagger was then number one for like 4 weeks after that. So an amazing pop song. Was it Maroon 5, isn't it? Featuring Christina Aguilera or something. Yeah. But the weird thing is, they'd done a midweek release. Like this is an amazing song, we'll just drop it out of the blue. So they nearly got number one, even with only being on sale for like 3 days. I'd had a full week of downloads. But
you don't need to mention that
don't
part.
Mention it. Don't mention it. In the history books, you've still got it.
You beat Maroon 5.
But,
I like he's very humble, though. He's like, they only had 3 days. Hey, don't drop that bit
Okay,
in.
sorry. But the point of the story was, I was number one. Number two was Maroon 5. And number three was Ed with You Need Me, I Don't Need You.
Oh, wow.
Which I don't think was ever number one, but was his I think at that point was his highest chart hit, which is actually mental because when you think of all of Ed's mega hits, they're all ballads or pop songs.
Yeah.
And You Need Me, I Don't Need You is basically a 4-minute rap.
Yeah.
Which he still ends his shows on, I think.
It's just, it's absolutely class, isn't it?
It's an absolutely class song, yeah. I'd actually love him to, I don't know if his record label would ever let him do it. I'd love him to just release another like 3-minute rap song.
He's so big now, he can just do what he wants, surely.
He can, but I think he's still wary of the fact that he needs to keep playing stadiums, that he needs to keep delivering massive pop hits, and like he's still very competitive. I think he wants more number ones. He's chasing the Beatles record.
Oh,
Which
really?
I think, I think Ed's had 9 number ones or something, but the Beatles have had maybe 16.
Oh, he'll piss that.
I don't know. But anyway, look, he is just, I cannot sing his praises enough just as a human being, like regardless of his music. He's an unbelievable friend. He's a great dad. He's a great husband. He's just like, he hasn't changed at all.
I was genuinely shocked when I met him and he'd remembered meeting me in the waterfront like 8 years before that, because I wasn't a YouTuber at this point.
Yeah.
I think I'd
You're not one now.
But I'd basically just started a channel and I did that really cringy thing where I went up to him and asked him to say in the camera, "My name's Ed Sheeran, subscribe to Jackmate," or whatever. And then I thought all this time on, like, he's not going to remember some silly twat. And he did, so fair play to him. But little Miss Chloe on Twitter, she asks if you like giving dad advice to your friends like Ed Sheeran and Professor Green and people like that who are now become dads. Because obviously you were the first dad in the group.
I
weren't
was
you?
kind of like out of my peer group. I think I was the first to have a kid. I think if I'm thinking of like that era, sort of like me, Ed, Professor Green, Chaser Status, Tiny Temper, Tinchy Strider. I'm pretty sure I was the first to have a kid, but everyone else sort of followed very, very shortly afterwards.
So are you now like?
No one ever really asked for advice. I remember just saying to everybody, just enjoy those early moments because they fly by. Like my kids are now about to become 7 and 4, and it feels like a year ago that my eldest was asleep on my chest in a little ball. It doesn't feel like 7 years. It feels like a year. It's mental how quickly it goes when people, and that is the best advice, is to just really enjoy it.
But when people say that, like, you can never truly, do you know what I mean? Like, it's easy saying embrace the moments and make the most of it, but you can never really do it. Like, before you know it, you're blinking, it's gone. Like,
I'm actually really proud of most of my, so just quickly, a lot of my music friends, musician, DJ, artist, rapper friends, a lot of them, they do it all themselves. They don't have nannies, and I think that's really commendable because like artists and musicians have really mad schedules, and all of my music friends pretty much are raising their kids by themselves. In Australia, we don't have a cleaner or a nanny or a live-in chef or a personal trainer. Erin and I love doing everything ourselves. We're really hands-on. We think it keeps us really grounded and focused, and it gives us a real nice structure to the day. And kids like, having a certain structure. I think it's better for their behaviour and their development. I've got nothing against anybody who's got a cleaner or a nanny. If that's your choice, that's fine. Erin and I both work, but we like to try and balance it. And some of my friends, that's the advice I've put on it. I was like, look, if you have to go on a 6-month tour, that's fine. And some people, unless you're like the biggest artist in the world, some people can't afford to take their wife or their girlfriend and their kids on tour because it's expensive. Obviously, like if you're Coldplay, every band member brings the whole family and all the kids because you're all traveling on your own jets, etc.
Right.
Whereas if you're just traveling around, say me in the UK, imagine me bringing my wife and 2 kids on a tour bus.
Yeah.
Although it might be fun for them one day, it's not really fair to them.
So which is Sheeran going to take his baby and?
I don't know. Honestly, don't know. I think he wants to be a hands-on dad, so I'm assuming that he'd be the person who'd take his wife and kid everywhere. The driver would be paid off every night to sort of not say anything, and because he's got to probably drive 10 hours between states, whilst there's the loudest music being played and weed being smoked and just girls getting rinsed left, right, and centre.